You know what I think is the biggest waste of time? Debating. This is the last cycle. If you notice,
Hey, really peep what he's saying. This is the last cycle.
things just keep unraveling every month, every week. You don't gotta sit there and argue with nobody about who is indigenous to America, if the transatlantic slave trade was for real, who's the true Jew. All that is going to reveal itself now, today, tomorrow, next year. Your job is just gain more knowledge and try to complete your cycle and be the light to everybody else. You ain't got to argue about none of that no more. Everybody who is complicit with the world to hide the faces of those people is all going to be revealed. They've always had two things running at the same time: the real and the entity. The entity is what we all see. They have natural law, and then they have admiralty law. They have the real you, and then the straw you, the dead you. You are dead the minute your mom signed your birth certificate. That's when you dead. They have the United States of America. One is a corp, the straw one, and one is the real one. New York State, Florida State. There's always one real and one corp running in the beginning, because you're all dead. Even your mortgage, dead. 15, 20 years you're gonna pay your mortgage. Only a dead man will pay something like that because he's a fool. I'm saying that they use the laws, they use the arts. So they use that art of running a double entity within every facet of society. So when we look absolutely on the world, there is the real world, the natural world as it is meant to be, how you were supposed to be born. And then they have this world that they created, the straw world. Now, this straw world has to be destroyed now. So that's why these guys are working their hardest to keep this thing afloat, to keep that false entity, that fake illusion that they've had running for so long, because the people are finally being able to see. So this is why I say, you ain't got to argue with nobody about who's the true Jew, who's the true native. You don't have to. Who's the selected people that were selected by the Most High to govern this planet, and why those selected people fell, as to why they were taken over by another set of people who now run that facade that they're the ones that were ordained or to govern this planet. You ain't gotta do none of that no more. Because again, we talk about slavery and affliction, and we always speak of it like our ancestors didn't do nothing. Somebody just came and took us over. That it's impossible. Because remember, the will, and then there's a creator. Just like a man and a woman. Man is the will, the woman is the creator. She's the support. Use correspondence. When it comes to race of people, it went the same way. You have a set of people who's the will and another set that was supposed to support. The only time the support is able to overtake the will is when the will is not a righteous will anymore. Like, your woman ain't going to listen to you the minute your will becomes unrighteous. She's given the right to overthrow you. It's not that any role, male or female, is subordinate to the other, but they need to be together for that balance. But when the archons took over,
Hey, that balance is very important. But you see, everything out here is very unbalanced.
at every level of society, what they removed, the same way they removed the Holy Spirit, which is the name is Sophia or Miriam, meaning the feminine potency. They removed the divine feminine from everywhere, from the mental plane down to the physical plane, down to the trees. If you look, there's only male trees. The trees that produce fruit are the female trees. There are no more. You only see a fruit in the United States of America if somebody in their backyard is growing it, or if you go to the supermarket. It's not out like In the Caribbean, you see male and female trees. They removed them all because they had to remove the divine feminine and create imbalance. But Lucifer works in extremes. You hear me say this all the time. In the beginning, when the man was dominant in the dark ages, but his will was not right. Woman opened her mouth too much, he slapped the shit out of her. He was ruling, but he was ruling at extremes. He wasn't ruling in the place that he was supposed to rule, like how the divine had him to rule righteously. That's when they removed the divine feminine. But the time has come now in the age of Aquarius when the divine feminine is moving back into its place, mental and physical. Lucifer got a plan for that too. He created a feminine movement.
You see, hey, peep the last couple of years how things have been switched and how they pushing on the female side. It's all intentional. It's all planned.
How the men were extreme when they were ruling, now the women are extreme. He doesn't work with balance. He goes from either end because he knows what is to come. He's always a step ahead. They've done this cycles and cycles and cycles. All our struggles and imbalances come from a deviation from order. Because order is the word. And the word is order. The man and the woman role is equal. But they have roles in which they are to play. And Lucifer is going to entice you to move outside of your role. So you can now be in imbalance. So the man was supposed to rule righteously for everybody, not for self, not so you know you got power so you could do whatever you want and she got to be subordinate or suffer to all your inconsistencies. That's not how that works. The will has to be a righteous will. And if the will is not righteous, she's given the right to overthrow you. So now, if we use correspondence now and move from an individual to a group of people who are given the right, remember it says Adam, the red copper-colored skin, was given lordship over the whole planet. So that means every other race of people were there for the support until Adam decided that he wanted to go over there and do what they were doing. And now he has a unrighteous will, and he moved. That's why laws and covenants were made. They're made to preserve you and the environment in which you live and your physical body. The minute you deviate and do that, now you're playing on somebody else's playground. And now you're susceptible to whatever happens to you, which is what happened to our ancestors. So in a nutshell, that imbalance between man and woman that's happening now is because the man no longer has a righteous will. The reason the ones who are ordained as caretakers of this planet have been taken over and another set of people have taken over and destroyed this planet is because you moved from your righteous place and your will, or our ancestors' will, became unrighteous. Look at the story of Samson. It's the same way when his pops told him, don't go over there and do what those people do. And he decided he still wanted to go get a woman from over there. A woman doesn't mean a physical woman. Remember, the woman is a creator. So whatever ideas those races of people created, you start to adapt their creation. They're women. You start to adapt. A woman is a sign of creation. Why else you think you need to dig deep to figure out, for example, what the Egyptians ate pre-6,480 years? Because when they talk about the Egyptians, they always talk about the Egyptians during the Dark Ages. But most of us don't have the concept of time. Because at that time of life, the Egyptians didn't adopt. They were the caretakers of this planet. They didn't eat like they ate. They ain't eat no meat. It was almost telepathic. You adopted their food, their meat. You adopted their way of worship. You took on their white Jesus. You even adopted their holidays. How can you say you godly and celebrate Halloween? Clearly. So this is what happened. Your will becomes unrighteous. So now you're right for the taking. You know what I think is the biggest waste of time?
Okay, so I just wanted to play that real quick, man, because I wanted y'all to really like peep what he was talking about. This is a bit of music. He be having some good stuff, but yeah, it's some serious times, man. So tap in, and I will catch y'all on the next one. Shout out to Copper Color Soul for this video. All right, like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what y'all think.